Hey, welcome everybody. Just to let you know that I did a video a few days ago now on my Mac, and I wasn't happy with it. I wasn't happy with the way that it turned out. Wasn't happy with a lot of things on it actually. It started glitching halfway through, and it's not until I watched it back that I could see that there was obviously problems and issues. So, in light of that, I thought I would do another video on support and resistance. But instead of doing the video in the traditional form of doing a video for the sake of doing a video uh, uh, way, I thought best thing to do is do a live video on or live stream on support and resistance. That way, if there are any viewers that are interested in this, they can come on the chat, see that I'm live, and ask me any questions. If I haven't made myself clear on something, I can go over it. And yeah, so there we go. So that's why I'm here right now. So if you're watching me live, then fantastic. Thank you for clicking and getting set up with watching me. Get yourself comfortable, have a cup of tea. It's for beginners basically, just so that they can understand buying, selling, and how the whole support and resistance works with regards to buys, sells, and supports. Now, if that didn't make any sense to you, what I've just said, then stick around for the rest of this stream. I think a really good one for us to go on to is going to be the Bitcoin USD, because we've got a lot of history there, and we can go back and look at areas of Bitcoin's life that I lived through, and I know where everything is there, so it's just easy for me, and it means that I can be more clear on what it is that I'm saying. So we'll get rid of this one for now, which is going to be the VPVR. I want to hide that. This cloud business called the Ichimoku Cloud, I'm going to get rid of that completely because that doesn't need to be on there. Yes, and I'm going to, what else will I need for support and resistance? I'm going to bring that and I'm going to make that into a horizontal, so I'll probably use that. Okay, don't need two RSIs up, don't know why there's two, and we have volume, which is important. And yeah, okay, so where are we? Let me have a look at things. Okay, so there was 2017. All right, so I suppose once an asset, whether it's a stock, a commodity, a cryptocurrency, whether it's any precious metals, you need, if ever they get to a point where they're reaching new highs, then it becomes unknown territory, whereby there isn't any previous price action or price data to go by. So a lot of the tools that are in TradingView and all the squiggly lines down here and squiggly lines on charts and things doesn't really make much difference, because we don't because all of those, the majority of those are used to, they use past history's price to look at where the price is going to be and going to go to, right? But if we're in unknown territory, then it can't look back on the previous price when it was at that price to know where there were people wanting to buy or people wanting to sell, and that is the key to understanding support and resistance. So let's what happened for those of you that weren't around and those of you that were, there was, I don't need that on there, so get rid of that. So this was the massive bull run that happened in 2017, and it sort of had a blow off top there around about the middle of December 2017, 2017, 1917, 2017. And then the price came down, went up, down, and up, down, up, down, up, down, and then it was on the floor. Now, if we were living back then, looking back now in hindsight, it's really easy. It's great because we can look back and see, hey, this is where we are now and where we're going and where we've been and everything. But what we didn't know then, if you were looking at investing or trading around this time, sort of February, well, any time from December all the way through to March and April, we wouldn't have known where the price was going. But when it was going up, we knew that we would find some kind of support and resistance at previous levels where the price went up. All right. So if I get this and put a line just where the price came, I'll put one there as well, where it topped out there. I'm going to make this, I'm going to change the settings here, and I'm going to change the settings to something that's going to stand out. Let's go purple. I don't want it to be dotted, so let's go for a full line. And let's make the line quite thick so it stands out. So let's go there. And okay, so we're going to have one there. I'm going to have one about there. I'm going to have one on that one there, and I'm going to have one on that one there. Okay, so as the prices come down and hit, price come down, hit, price came down, hit, and then price came down. All right, and obviously we need to put one at the bottom because that's where it bottomed out on, so we'll put one just at the bottom there. All right, so that's, we can bring him down a little bit more actually, about there. Okay, right, so we've got these big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, and as a guitarist I kind of want to put another line there, like just there, to make it 6 strings. I'll stick another one there, why not? Okay, so this is what happens, okay, is you get people wanting to buy and sell. Now I won't be able to get onto Binance, I don't think. It's going to want all sorts of details. Let me see if I can get onto Binance for you, because it's going to want to see buy orders and sell orders. It'd be great if it'll let me do it, but I don't think it will. Ba-da-ba, 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 ba-da-ba. There we go. That's good. Okay, so here we've got all these areas here I've taken off from previous price action. Okay, so what people were doing at this point here is, as the price was going up and people were buying, if we zoom in at that point there, so this was the price. If as I'm moving, just to let you guys know that as I move around, you'll notice that as I move my x-axis and y-axis, you got the here. You can see as I move the price up and then down, it tells us what the price is. So if I go and if I want to know what the price was over here, I can hover there's 2 ways of doing it. I can either hover the mouse over the price at the top and say, yeah, it reached 19,917. And if you look down here on the date, because obviously we've got price and we've got date at the bottom. If I go up to the top, I can see that it was on the 16th of December 2017, and the price went to 19,965. And they've got the highs and the lows. So all you got to do there, it's another way of doing it, is by just hovering over the candle that you want to look at. In this case, it is that one there. And it'll tell me without me having to try and get in right into the nitty gritty and try and find out exactly where it is. It'll tell me the H. So you got O for open, H for high, L for low, and C for close. So if I just hover over the candle, it tells me already that the high was at 19,797, and that the low it went down to 17,630. So, and that day was a 10%, because it tells me just here right at the end, it tells me that that day was a 10%, 10.77% move up to the, that was the move. So there's quite a lot of information there without having to sort of go up to it and try and figure it out and all the rest of it. All we have to do is hover over it, and the charts trading view already gives you the information without you having to start working hard at trying to find the information. It's there at hand, and that's why it's a great system, and most traders use TradingView. It's really good and incredible. Anyway, going back to Binance, so this is what would have happened around here. Okay, is that the price would have bottomed out just here. I can stick another line in there actually. Price bottomed out. Now that's the term. That's the term that I've just used there. It bottomed out. What does that mean? It bottomed out. Well, it means that the price came down. That's what this red candle is. It means that the day closed. The day's price opened. See where it says O? Tell me what price it opened at. It tells me that it opened at 14,565 here, but then when the day finished, the day closed at 12,839. It closed at 12,839, which means we then go on to the next candle, which opened at 12,839. See the open, the O, 12,839, and the close of the previous candle was 12,839. It flicked over and opened the next candle, and that candle went up 7.97%. All right. So that's how we look at the candles. But what would have happened back then is that people were selling, and that's what these are. This is, so if we go to Binance now and we start looking at the sell orders, you can see that people are selling, and you've got these candles that are saying how big. I mean, so this is the amount. This is the amount that they're selling it for. So that's the price of Bitcoin. That's how much it is in Bitcoin value, and this is how much it is in fiat. So this is how much it will be in dollars. So yeah, so this will be the dollar price. I went and thought about it because I didn't know if my system was set up in pounds. But it says that it tells me what the pound value is there and what it is in Bitcoin value just there. So yeah. So what would have happened? So just going back to those charts there is that the price would have come down on that day. So price came down that day, and then when I say it bottomed out, it was this one here, wasn't it? When I say it bottomed out, it means that the price, there was more people buying Bitcoin than there was selling. So the price couldn't come down to say here where my mouse is at 12,327. Price couldn't come down to there because there was too many people buying it at this price here where it bottomed out on the wicks of that. On the very bottoms of that day, what they call the wicks, which are the little lines in the middle of the candle. So then the price, so there was a lot of people buying it around about that $12,859. Okay, and then the price went up the way, and then there was sellers. There was far more sellers than buyers, so the price wouldn't continue going up and going up because too many people were selling then. So people made their money up here, and then they sold. And then people bought here and it bounced up and then it came down. Then it bounced off and it came down and then it went up. Now, is there any point in putting a line there? Well, yeah, there is, because we had some history back here. So let's stick a line in there as well. Okay, we'll stick a line just there. So the price went up, bounced off there. Now, anybody who was trading this might have known not to come out at this point here. Let's say they'd made it all the way down here. There's no point in selling when you get to here, because previously people bought at that figure. And what was that figure that they were buying it at? No surprise, it's up. Well, it's bang on six. The top of that line there, where I'm at the minute, is $6,000, which is a nice psychological round number. $6,000. That's where I'm going to buy. So you can imagine it being up at 7,700 and people thinking, oh, I wish I'd have got in now. You know, it's gone all the way up. It was sat at for a few weeks. It was sat at 5 and 6,000, and now I've missed out. So if it gets down to 6, I'm going to buy in, right? And then it gets into 6, and then they buy. But then it's coming down, and people that it's coming down. People thinking, okay, well, if it's coming down now, I'll tell you what, I'm going to buy in at 6 because 6 is a nice round figure, and then it bounced off again. And then it went up, it hit this resistance, which was, remember, it being here? We ended up putting a line just here because of this one and this one. And then ended up being resistance. It sold, nobody went through. It sold, went through. Came up, there was loads of people selling, came down. Is that a round number? Hey, there you go, no surprise, $12,000, another round number. They sold, came down, went up, hit nearly the $12,000 mark, came down. Okay, so they're sellers, and the people that are buying are the pushing ups. All right, so that's it really, quite simply. That's why your support and resistance happen. So if that's what happened back in 2017, then moving forward and going on to the price action of today, As we're starting to go from the bear cycle that we had that started in around about November and ended in about March 19, which seemed like forever. Now when we're going into unknown territory, it's unknown territory from the point of view is that we don't know where we're going, but what we have got is the past to look at and say, well, all these supports and resistance points which I've pegged out, where do they stack up now? So it's coming out. This was like an accumulation phase where people could really quite easily just put a little bit of their wage in each week as they get paid, and just dollar cost average each week or each month as they're going, and then the price goes up. Okay, but traders would have looked back at this point and said, well, there was massive support there. I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 touches it gave us support. So people that were buying Bitcoin here, they would have known to suspect at least a little bit of resistance there, because people had this psychological number of $6,000 was like a real psychological hurdle. Then people that were waiting on Bitcoin at 3,500, doubling their money, or nearly doubling their money, going up to 6,000, would maybe want to sell. So there was a few sell orders there, and yeah, there was. If we go in and look into there, we can see that there are indeed people selling. It couldn't get past it. People were buying and ban. We had like 4 days of sellers where it couldn't break past that line. And then eventually we had 2 days of closing above it. When I say closing, it means that the day finished above that price. And then once it had done that, that resistance then flipped to support, meaning that now, if ever it came down to that line, there would be a high chance, not guaranteed and for certainty, but there would be a high chance that support resistance would flip into support there. And then what people will be doing is people will be wanting to buy at 6,000 instead of sell. So here they sold. Now they're going all the way up and they're thinking, oh no, I should have bought in at 6,000. It's too late now. Yeah. So where's the next psychological hurdle? Well, that was a little bit just here. We could put a line in there. There'd be no reason why we can't put a line there, because there was a psychological hurdle. What was the figure? What was the number? 8,000, 8,400. There's no reason why that would be from a round number kind of thing. But it was, because we can see if I get the brush out and bring the brush up, we can see that we had a touch just here. And then again here, and then again here, and then here, and then here, and then yeah. So maybe you know what? Maybe we could bring this yellow one. Oh, idiot! What am I doing? Right, hang on a sec. Let me go back. Back. Maybe, just maybe. Let's just go back a little bit. Maybe we should bring this guy down to meet the top of this one here. Yeah, we'll bring him down. I'm still on brush. How silly. All right. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring that one down. Hey, note for oneself: when you're live streaming, you can't edit things out, right? So you can only be a cretin once. Right. So what I'm doing now is I'm looking here. I'm looking here. Here. And I'm looking at where the best part to put this is, so that we can get the best chance of finding a support and resistance. And I'm going to say, I'm going to come down, and I'm going to, don't forget, I'm looking here as well, and I'm going to go for about there. And I think that kind of covers this, because this bleeds into it a little bit, and that doesn't quite touch it. So and we got here, we got people wanting to sell off, and then then this didn't flip to support because it was mostly red there. So they ended up closing down here really. So now you see I'm using words like they closed down here. Now you understand what that means. It means that the day's price closed. In other words, at 1 minute past 12 at night time, that candle closed. That day closed at that price, right? All right. So taking you up now, it ended up going up, hitting that place, and we ended up hitting that, coming down, selling, buying, selling. Right now we're on our way up. So this is when COVID happened. So we'll get this one here. I'm going to move him just here. I'm going to edit it. Settings, text, and I'm going to call him COVID-19 dump. Alright, and I'm going to change it to a little bit larger, and I'm going to make it a darker. Maybe I'm going to make it that color because it'll stand out then. Style, going to get the line. I'm going to move the line to the same sort of color, and I'm going to make the line thicker so we can see what it is that we're looking at, and darker. So there we go, COVID dump. Now, is there any way of getting that centralized text alignment? Let's see if we can get middle. There we go, COVID dump. It doesn't stand out very well there, does it? Let's get another color. How about white? COVID dump. Yeah, boom. Don't know. That blue was nice, wasn't it? Yeah, let's do that. COVID dump. Not that we want to give it a nice color. Should we give it a horrible color like, don't know. What's a horrible color like green? Yeah. Blech. COVID dump. Let's make him green. COVID dump. There we go. Okay. So the price came down. The COVID dump, and then it hit almost. It almost hit where the bear market was last time. No surprise then that people started to buy up, and then it came down. People started to buy up, and then we had the same history where people were selling off of the previous support. They had all their sell. People were selling. Then when it got down to hit the support, let me say that again. So people were selling when it got to the resistance, and then when it got to support, they were buying. Resistance, support, resistance, support, and this is what traders were doing. They were putting they bought there. When it got to there, they put it into tether. Then when it came back down again, they bought back in. When it got to there, they put it into tether or USDC or another coin like maybe fiat, like a fiat-backed currency. I'm using the word tether because of another cryptocurrency called Tether or USDC. There's quite a few of them actually. There's DAI and there's a few, and they're all pegged or tethered, hence the word tether, to the dollar. So it doesn't fluctuate as the price does with Bitcoin. So once you go into crypto, it costs you quite a little bit of money, and it also costs you a little bit of money to come out. So when you're trading, you don't want to be going from crypto into sterling or fiat currency, and then back into crypto, then back into fiat currency, because it's going to cost you about 6% every time that you do it. Okay. So none of that, because that was a mistake that I made at the beginning. Is I was thinking, how are these people making this money? Because every time that I, let's say I put £100 in, used to use £100 as a round number. I'd put £100 into my Coinbase account, and it said, yeah, you're gonna have £100 of Bitcoin right now. You press, and this is the current price, and you press OK, and then you press refresh, and then straight away it says your balance is £92, and you're like, what? It was supposed to be fee free, and now it's like at £92. Where's my £8? I want my £8 back, please, Coinbase. And I can tell you that when you're not doing £100, you're doing a lot more than £100. It starts getting pretty, you start getting a bit gritty about it, and a bit like, I don't like this Coinbase guy. I want to, I just don't like it. So yeah, don't get caught out on that. So this is what they would do is it's called spot trading. So there's no leverage. There's no people wanting to borrow from the exchange to if they can't afford to put a big chunk of their money on, they would borrow it, and that's called margin trading or leverage trading, where you end up potentially putting up to 100 and in some cases 200 times the amount of money that you can actually put in. But you can make loads of money if you know what you're doing, but you can also lose it as well. So that's called margin trading. But today, because this is a beginner's tutorial, I'm just talking, about spot trading. So this is just spot. That's the name of it. And if you go into Binance, you go to wallets, you'll see there's a fiat and spot. Wallet. And that's the actual fiat currency that you own. I'm not going to click on that because that's got some of my trade things in there, right? So okay, back to here. So this is what was going on. So they would buy, let's say, £1,000 of Bitcoin there, and then when it gets up to here, they sold their £1,000 of Bitcoin into Tether. Then when the price came back down, they bought, which means they've now made from there to there. is 17%. 17%. All right. So with £1,000, they've just made 17%. Now they've got 1,170 quid. Then they came out and put it into Tether. They waited until it got back down here again, and they bought Bitcoin. They didn't put the 1,000 in. They put the 1,117, and then it went up another 17%. So now they've got 1,304. Yeah, my maths isn't my strong point, right? 1,000. Yeah. And then it came down, then it went up another 17%, and then it came back down, but it didn't come down and touch the line. So now they're saying, well, if this is the case, it's been going down a little time now. It's probably not going to touch this resistance line. Looks like we might be heading up towards a new high. So, excuse me. So yeah, once it was that point, at that point there, they were probably thinking, okay, I've made a load of money along this side action. I'm going to stick it in. So then they put their money in and then end up they've made all their money, and now they're in Bitcoin. They've got a lot more Bitcoin than they bought when they bought it there, and they see it through. But they would have looked at previous price action, at previous sell orders, and known that once the price comes up and hits around the 12,000, as we zoom out, we can see it was 12,000 was a problem there. It couldn't break it and fell down. 12,000 was a problem here, twice, 3 times. 3 times a lady. Right, so 3 times it went up there, and it was giving problems. So they would have known that at that point there, so you got this side action, they would have known that 12,000 was probably going to be an issue, and then taken some of their Bitcoin out, or all of it, and turned around and said, I'm going to wait and see what happens here. And then, funnily enough, what was resistance, what was that ceiling, what was that ceiling where the price couldn't get through, is now turned into support. So now you've got a flip now that it's gone past it. It's bounced off of 12,000 now. Now it's come down, and now it couldn't get up there past there. It's now bouncing off of it, and it bounces off it a few times. So this time they came out, and let's see what the measured move is this time. So from there to up there is, funnily enough, another 17%. So they're making themselves another 17%. So you see, this is the thing, and this is why it can be profitable trading, but you can also see where the dangers are too with your money. And that is that if you sit back and turn around and go, okay, well, I'm just going to buy down here. You know what? I'm just going to buy all in. And you buy whatever price you feel that you can afford to invest into something that you're not 100% sure on. All right. So you put your money in, and then you leave it. You don't touch it, and you wait. Okay. You could end up making, let's say up to this point here. So from the bottom, if you manage to get at the bottom, and we'll go up to this one here. You can make yourself 400% in just from. In fact, I've got a little button down here that'll do it for me. I can measure it from there to. We're going to go to that one, won't we? To there, and that tells me that it's 530% over 274 days. So not even a year. 3/4 of a year, maybe I don't know, 7/10. I don't know. Yeah, of a year, you would have ended up making 530%. All right. Now that is an incredible amount, but on top of that 530%, you could have also made lots of little bits along the way. So you would have made your 530% plus. Let's get this zoomed in a little bit more. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to give you guys a bigger screen so that you can see more. There you go. Was that helpful? I hope so. All right. So you got 530%, but you could have also made the money on that sideways action that I was talking about. Yeah, we went up. From there to there, 20%. So 530, and then another. So from there to there, that's another 20%. From there to there, that would have been another 16%, and then from there to the top there would have been 22%. So that's 530% plus all these other percents that I'm saying you can all add up. Plus another, that 30%, I can't. That's not fair to say that one, but because that would have been calculated in the measurement. But so from there to there, so we could probably put that one in there. That would be fair to say. There's another 12% there that you could make, and then the major one that you could have made is seeing on here. Anybody that understands divergence, if you're watching this all the way through, which you're probably not, because if you understand divergence, then you'll understand support and resistance quite easily. But right here, you would have been able to make another 22%. You see, so all these, every time that you get one of these, what they call a retracement or a chop down, every time that you get that and you come out and you get back in, you're making yourself more percent. So your 530% that you could have made could have been a real lot more. Okay, so from the COVID dump all the way up to now, if I zoom out now, and then something gets really interesting at this point, is obviously we don't need that anymore because I've gone on from here. So I'm just going to take this bottom one and I'm going to move him all the way up to the highest price that we've ever seen in Bitcoin up until a few months back, right? And that is this $20,000 mark. And it is no surprise that if Bitcoin is that's the only price that Bitcoin's ever been at there, until then. So if we let's just change. Let's just get onto that one and let's change the settings, and we'll turn him red. Okay, because this is a real serious important one. All right, let's style line red. Right. So now we've made him red. We can zoom in, look, and see that. We can zoom in and see that. The price came up. Loads of people, in anticipation of the 20,000, ended up selling. So the price went up there really quite fast, and you can see that the volume. Also, we get the trend line, and we look at the volume. The volume was going. Was going up. Sorry, there we go. There, stick that down there like that. The volume was going up as the price was going up, so everything was looking strong. But then it topped right out at 20, and there were too many people selling. Okay, so if you'd have gone onto your sell orders on Binance, you would have seen a lot more people selling than buying, and it was those sellers that ended up pushing the price down. From there to there, so the price went down and retraced another 11%. But it didn't last long. It wasn't like it didn't live for very long, because straight after that resistance, it ended up going up, and that has now flipped to support. Some people are saying on YouTube, some YouTubers and cryptos are saying that we think that the price is going to come down to 20,000 again, and that's going to become support. And indeed, it might come down to $20,000 again, but not until it's reached mega new highs in the future. Hopefully not too far away. Not financial advice, but it can happen very, very fast, as did this movement here. Ripped everyone's faces off with pure energy and G. Yeah, the big G. So right now, but notice we've got no more lines now, because we've all these lines that we've had, it topped out just here, and now it's just all where do we go from here? So because 20,000 was the old high that we looked at, because remember this is where we were zooming in and talking about a little while ago. It was here. Well, now we've gone all the way up. We've passed this now, and now we're in, and it's at this point here that we were in unknown territory, and it was very difficult for people that were technical analysis experts to really know where to go from here. Wall Street would have been going crazy. Everyone would have been going mad, thinking, "What's going on with this asset?" We never expected it to get this high this quick. I know I wasn't expecting in January, March time for us to be hitting like the 30s. I just wasn't expecting it at all. I was expecting it to sort of bounce off of the 20 for maybe 3 or 4 weeks and have all these sellers in at 20, and then eventually maybe it flipped to support, and then as bounce up to 30 maybe in a couple of months after that, and then gradually and slowly build up to 100,000. What I wasn't expecting was it to go up so quick, but lots of people got on the back of it and ended up going and making all this money. And then what happened? Well, loads of people came and started selling at 42,000, which is what this box is just here. this 42,000 has become, in fact, I can grab Mr. Line here and bring him up and say, okay, well, there is the new line. Because we've had him before and we've come down here now, people would have been expecting for this to come down to 20, maybe, but they weren't, and it didn't, and they ended up finding support at just here, where obviously where the bottom of that candle is, which found support. I'm just looking. If you look at the top, like I showed you earlier in the video, the open was 30,855. So that was the open of that day. So it found resistance around about the 30,000 support. Sorry, around about the 30,000, and then it just went sideways for a little while, up, down, up, down, up, down. People were making money, buying and selling, buying and selling. All right. Then we went up and we blasted through that mark there. There would have been sellers if we go to that day and then go to the 4 hour or the 1 hour. You would see major resistance. I'm certain of it at 4,200, 4,200. You would have found a lot of resistance around there where it would have been banging off of the ceiling. But as soon as it went through, that was it. It was again another massive move up, and then it came down and it bounced off. So here it became support where everyone was selling. It went up, and then after it started coming down, it became, so what was resistance? Sorry, my bad. What was resistance has now come up. We've come down, and it's been support for the price. People are now buying, saying, "I want it in. I want it in. Then I want to buy now." So they bought, and it went up, and then they bought, and then it's come down, and then it went up, and then it's come down and down and down, and obviously we are where we are now. So. This isn't a video on technical analysis on Bitcoin per se. This is just a video on support and resistance for us when we speak on the video on the channel. If you're watching some other YouTubers, fantastic YouTubers like Rockyoutcrops, I'll leave his description in the description. I'll leave his link. Highly recommend that you subscribe and like him, because the content that he brings out is the best on YouTube, in my humble opinion. He is the Don. He is the master at reading charts. And yeah, I don't really watch anybody else. Sometimes I watch Crypto if he's got some funky thumbnail that says something that nobody else is watching. Then I might click onto it, or this is the end of Bitcoin right now if this doesn't happen. You know, all these funny things that you hear him say. He's a nice enough guy, and I like him. He makes me laugh at times, and his videos are a lot shorter now, so I tend to kind of watch them because they don't drag on. So not like this video, which has been going on for, I don't know, it's been going on for a while, isn't it? Let's press F11, come out of here, have a look. How long's this video been going on for? I have no idea. I'm only assuming that it's live. Yeah, it's definitely live. I think it's 38 minutes. Right. So yeah. Anyway, back to the F11 for you. So yeah, this was it. So support and resistance for beginners, and you'll also notice that I am messing around with things on TradingView, which you might have noticed, that you can press trend line and draw lines. So you might think, okay, well here's a support and resistance line that I can see. Let me show you something that's quite funky. So you'll notice here this pitch, what they call a pitchfork, which I could go into another time. But when you draw in trend lines, you'll not often find that the price will follow a trend. So you can get a support and resistance. So I'm going to do this on the fly. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of Mr. Serious, and get rid of him, and let's get rid of all of these now, because these support and resistances don't matter. I'm going to show you something else now. So there's support and resistances on a vertical playing field. So looking at past price action, but so there's supports and resistances, but you also get trend support and resistances. So that's not a price support and resistance, it's the overall trend. So if I get the trend line, hence it called trend line, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a trend, and I go from, say, the top here. So if I go from here to there and draw a line, So what I'm looking at now, I'm just looking. I'm going to draw the line right over here, but I'm looking just here. I haven't practiced this before the video. I'm doing this on the fly, right? So you just have to bear with me until we find one that works. And this is what technical analysis is about. This is about sitting down with a cup of tea and a coffee and some of your favorite biscuits or something, and just before putting your trades in, this is what you're looking for. So I'm now literally doing technical analysis using trend lines and support and resistance to find where we're likely to be going, and this is what I would be doing if I wasn't on a live stream right now, and I'm about to make a trade. This is what I'm going to be doing. Okay, right. So I've just done that. Here we go. So I've got support there, on resistance there. I've got resistance there, and I've also got. And just for the sake of this video, now I'm just going to get rid of that one. Zoom in here, just clear it all up a little bit. That's from a measured move that I did earlier, which I'll go into another day when I speak about different patterns. Okay, so yeah, so right, what I've done is, so this was an obvious resistance for quite some time. That was obvious resistance, and now it's no surprise then that the price has found a support and resistance level, where the price came down, bounced off, went up, bounced off, went up, bounced off, went up, bounced off, and now we've broken it. So now what's going to happen with the price? Because if we zoom in, I mean, I genuinely, before doing this, I had no idea that this was going to happen. I'm just looking at that being important and that being an important area, and then moving over here, that now the price is hitting important places. But that was support, okay? That means that people are going to be buying at that price because of the trend. But because the price has now broken the trend, it's going to find it difficult to start going above that trend, because people will be selling. They'll be selling because they'll be doing what I've done, all right? So the price now, if we zoom in where we are, we're halfway through this trend line. And it's great because we closed the candle on that trend line, which I've just drawn, and you saw me do it, and it bounced off of there, yeah. And now we've come down, we've come straight past it, we've totally ignored it, gone up, and now we're halfway through it. If we go to the weekly, we'll see if it makes any sense on the weekly chart. All right, so let's zoom out now and check it out on the weekly. So there was your do you know something? Do you think it could be that we could bring that down? No way. No way. It actually tops out with the COVID dump. Let's turn around and take that off. Remove. So if I get the price and bring that to the COVID dump week, yeah, so there we go. There's the COVID dump week. There was the support. And there we are now, looking like we're going to close the week around this area here. So what we've done is we've wicked past it, but we've hopefully closing this week above this line, and this line will act as support. So this support then is going to be hopefully a place of interest for us moving forward. All right, so there you go. There's support and resistance using horizontal price and sell orders, buy and sell orders on price action, and also a trend line that you can follow to turn around and say there's support, there's resistance, and yeah, there you go. I mean, that was fantastic, wasn't it? Wow, look at that. In fact, to be more accurate, I need to bring this down a little bit, and I might just keep that on there because I like that. Let's bring him a little bit closer now, because I don't need him to be all the way over there. And interestingly enough, there's this line here where I've done another trend line where I was thinking, where I can see that it had a issue just here, That is, you know, that it found support, and then here it found resistance and then came down. It found resistance and price action moved it down again. See, price action is king. That price action is what will move the price where it's going to go. It's not. It's nothing else. It is actually price. It's people going into Binance or Bitfinex or wherever you want to go to, Bybit or Qcoin, whatever. It's not in a competition as to how many exchanges you know, but yeah, there we go. So yeah, so what I've got now is I've got these areas, and now what we're making is an actual symmetrical triangle. And I'm just going to do something fun for any of you who do end up watching this and they know what they're talking about. I'm just going to do a measured move from here to there, and I'm going to say, well, when and if Bitcoin does break out, we can see a target price. If it ends up breaking out there, that's what you do. You go from the bottom to the top. So in this case, actually, that's a little bit too big, I think. So let's go from there to there. Right, so there's your there would be your move, because there's no, I can't measure it from up here because the price never actually reached it, but it did find a struggle here. So that would be the measured move from there, and then wherever it breaks out, and I'm kind of gaming it to break out around here, there, and then I can bring out my horizontal line that I was doing earlier and say, okay, well, when we hit here, I feel that there's going to be resistance. And again, it's no surprise that there was resistance just here. It came down. Resistance here. It came down. And I suspect, and I will be looking out for this, especially now I've written it on the charts, that I'll find resistance again when it comes back up here. I expect it to bounce around here for a few days before it ends up going up. And then there will most definitely, almost certainly, be another resistance at the top just here, which I shall mark out for my own all. Hang on a sec, guys. Sorry. All-time highs. So there's the all-time highs. Okay, boom. So when it goes up to there, I know that it's an all-time high, and that's how you do the measured move from a triangle. And there's many shapes and different ways to many shapes, and every shape has its own way of doing the measured move. Okay. So there you go. So there's that big long trend line to follow and to take into consideration. Let's move that trend line all the way up so that we've got a rough date as to when we're going to reach that target, if we do indeed reach it. So if that follows that trajectory where I'm saying, and I just need to press F11 to come out of this main screen, it means that, well, to be honest with you, it's not giving us a date because it's too far ahead in the future, but August, October, November. Well, another way of doing it would be to get my friend here and go from here to here and say in, that's why it's if I put it into logarithmic, just give us a sec, guys. Is it gonna let me have it? Yeah, no, it's not. Nope. Yeah, it would be interesting to see if in 2022, if the price ends up coming down from its new all-time highs, if it finds support at that level there. There you go. So there's my prediction that the price will find a support on the next bear market, and the price will be around about 63,000. There you go. You heard it here first. 63,120 is going to be the next bear market. What do you think, guys? Do you think that'll work? It'd be nice if it does. I'll be jumping up and down and showing this video to everybody saying, "I told you it was going to be that. I told you it was going to be that." So yeah, I don't know why it's all moved. It's oh, look, so I've gone on to logarithmic. I'm going to say let's change that around. That was the wrong date then, because obviously changing the chart. Yeah, I can't do it, guys. November, December to January time. Yeah, but that's my prediction. £65,000 has been the next bear market, based on that line anyway, and the fact that was a major resistance point there. 65,000. You see, it's a psychological number. All right, so oh. Epiphany Jones. Hi, Tony. I'm finishing a run. We'll tune in properly in a min. Oh, excellent. And I've also got Feisty Goat saying, hi, Tony. Hi, and how are you? And I hope you are well. I didn't realise. I haven't been looking. I've just been chatting on and blabbering on that I didn't even think to look at the comments. I'm doing a video for beginners just explaining about support and resistance lines. and why they're important and how they're made, so that beginners, when they're listening to people speaking about TA, and they're hearing people say about opening and closing of candles and finding support and resistance and bounces off of this price and this price, that this isn't just another language that's just garbly-gooch that's going out of their minds, that they actually understand what it is that they're saying. So yeah, so I was just going over some of the basics, and then this video or this stream I'm just going to leave up as a video and delete the I did a video about 3 days ago on my Mac because my computer was down, and I decided that I was going to delete that video and leave this up in its place. So that is what I'm going to do. Right. So, yeah, what do you guys think of Jamie's live stream? I think the guy's incredible to be going on for, I think when last time I looked, it was 6.5 hours that he was live streaming. And I thought that was incredible. Wow. Go, Jamie. You the man. That's a day's work. That's a shift, isn't it? That's a full day's shift. So fair play to the guy. Excuse me. So if you guys do end up who've tuned in to look at what it is that I'm talking about today, support and resistance lines, there is a I'll leave in the description, Rocky Outcrop, and Rocky Outcrop is bless you. I'm a beginner. That's me, lol. I appreciate the tutorial as well. Absolutely, that's what we're here for. And if we can help, then we will. So yeah. So in the description, you'll find Rocky Outcrop, and his brother also does TA. His name is Jamie, and his channel is called Trade Spotting, and he did a live stream today that must have gone on for about 7 hours thereabouts. Let's bring him up. Let's bring up Jamie and see what he did. He's probably still going now, to be fair. Nope, he's actually finished. But there he is, Trade Spotting. And these are his videos. And this is Rocky Outcrop that I was talking about. So yeah, join these two guys because they're great. They're great. Rocky's way on reading the charts is more the way that I read the charts. And although they're brothers, they have totally different attack patterns when it comes to trading. And I've been with Rocky since the beginning, so yeah, I'm biased towards Rocky rather than Jamie. Not to say that Jamie's any better or any worse than Rocky, but Rocky's my friend and pal, and so is Jamie at Trade Spotting. But I just lean to Rocky. Rocky's like, bam, 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 bam. Yeah, cool. Okay, Rocky, James, and Tony, the 3 class acts. That's good. Thank you very much. CC, Jamie's amazing. He gives so much. Yes, he does. CC, he does. He's an amazing guy. So cool. So that's Trade Spotting. And then if you look at Rocky, I'll show you why why I appreciate what it is that he does. Is so at the minute, both Jamie and Rocky or Trade Spotting and Rocky have both gone on to AMC and GME, which are some stocks, and they've got into that recently, just over the last couple of months, and they're taking off, and it's fantastic. And I'm proud of both of them for what it is that they're doing. But you'll see that Rocky does things like education, and things like he did some others, how to lows and highs. So people speak about, oh, you get higher highs and lower lows. Check out his video on that. What is a higher high? Yeah, it's a video that I'll be doing as well at some point. Indicators, which indicators to use, which ones not to use, or which ones to use with which other indicators, you know. So he does lots of little bits like that, and he's happy to give out his knowledge to the mainstream public, even though he worked in the banks. He's given us all of the knowledge bombs for free, and this is what I believe the community is all about. Is it's free. It's you receive free from everybody that's out there, and you'd like to pass that knowledge on. And that's what Jamie is doing. That's what Rocky's doing, and that's what I'm doing for you guys as well. So that's it. If you haven't liked, please like and subscribe. And I think that everybody who's watching me now is already a subscriber, and that's pretty cool. I'm off. Time to jump in the sprinkler with my kids. Have a great evening all. Okay, so thank you very much for that comment. And yeah, cool. So with that, I think it's time for me to sign out. I've given Rocky and Trade Spotting a shout. I've shown you guys about support and resistances and buy orders on Binance, and some of the tutorials to look out for, which you'll find interesting, is how to use Binance. I want to do a Binance tutorial on how to buy and sell and trade, and I also want to do one on Bybit, which is my preferred choice if I'm going to do some leverage trading. Hey, Trade Spotting, I've just been talking about you, buddy. So, yeah, I was just saying about, don't know if I want to say now you're here, mate. Actually, the fact that you've only just written it means that you probably heard what I was saying about you both. But yeah, so Trade Spotting here, if you look into the chat, he's just joined in just to say hi, and I feel privileged that he's here and that he's taken the time out to come and see me and say hi. It was pretty cool. So yeah, that's it. So if I just go back to Jamie, Trade Spotting, mate, I don't know how you managed it. I think that was 7 hours nearly that you did. What was it? 1 hour ago. Let's just find out how long it is.
I haven't really worked out the lyrics yet. We're just going to do it while we record, which is something I love doing. It's totally okay to not have everything.
Right, shut up, you cretin. Right, get on to my mate. Here he
and
is.
Wonder how that they weren't able to anticipate the changing trend.
So you can hear the Scottish accent, the
well,
Scottish
there's
accent.
a pro trader telling you all his little tips.
But moving over,
check it
there you
out.
go,
Check
6
out Rocky's
hours,
video on how to spot highs and lows. It's
6
very useful.
hours, 40
Tipper
minutes.
Nova donated 15
6
SGDs.
hours,
What are the
40
SGDs?
minutes. What an incredible
If you want to learn
feat.
something about TA, this is the place to be, and Rocky Stream for sure.
So I was saying that, yeah, it's good. It is all good stuff. And yeah, with that, I think it's about time that I wrapped it up, because it's been about an hour. Unless we're just kind of, hey, I know that guy. CC says, hey, I know that guy. Because CC is also a Trade Spotting supporter and fan of. So yeah, if you're not into AMC and GME, it might be something that you want to consider putting a little bit of money into as a hodler perhaps, or if you're a trader and you know what it is that you're doing and you want to put your money onto the market, then we are going to the moon, they say. Yeah, so yeah, check out Trade Spotting and Rocky Outcrop, his brother. Hey, just to let you know, so you don't have to watch the whole video back, I noticed the trend line going back from the dump of the coronavirus CV COVID-19. Then we hit this high, and then high, and then high. So we got this support, resistance, support, resistance, and now we've come down, and we're back. We've just bounced off of this trend line here. So this trend line I'm leaving in there. And I've also got a horizontal line from the all-time high. And I'm wondering if perhaps once we've broken the all-time high and we come back down here, on the next bear market, after the next halving, are we going to come down? And is this area, because I find this trend line extremely powerful, the fact that it's bounced off of it here. And when I've gone to the weekly, I'm just looking at the trend line and seeing the weekly, it's wicked off of it. So those people that didn't know what that means now you understand. The wick of the candle is the price that it's gone down to at some point. So during this week, because we're on the weekly, it's come down and it's gone back up. So it hasn't closed yet. So the weekly candle, this week's candle, what day are we on now? It's Thursday. So it hasn't closed yet. So we've still got another 3 days yet of this one candle. So when we get the close of the candle, the close of this week on Sunday at 23, well, it'll actually be 12:59 and 59 seconds, then we'll open up the new candle for the week, because we're Greenwich Mean Time +1, obviously, because the clocks have gone forward. So it's yeah, it's pretty much almost 1 o'clock in the morning we'll get the new candle. Yeah, so that's so we've wicked down and we've gone off of it, and then we're heading on our way back up, which is what we're doing here on the daily. And then on the 4 hourly we'll have even more. So each one of these, every time that I go down the scale, each one of these candles represents a new time frame. So the hourly here right now, we go, each one of these represents 1 hour. And if you look at the time, interestingly, the timestamp at the bottom here, as I go down 1, 22, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, etc. And then on the daily, every time that you go down a candle, it'll go from the 21st down to the 20th. There. 21st, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, etc. Alright, and that's it. I've got nothing else to say, guys. So, unless Rocky comes on now and says, "Hey, Tony," I suppose I better go, or anybody else that might want to comment. But I think I've only got like 1 viewer or something, so it's pretty sad. And I've got an idea who that mate of mine is who's watching. So, yeah, that's it. I'm going to sign out. And with that, this is the tutorial on price, on support and resistance when it comes to horizontal price action, horizontal lines looking at past price to dictate where future price might give us support or resistance, and also showing you in live TA on how trend lines can be made and how you would use them. Alright, so with that, I'm going to sign out, say thank you very much for all of you that have signed in today, and I hope you have enjoyed the video and got at least some information out of it. I'm going to tag in some tags in there so that this video can get out to as many people as possible, so that it helps as many people as possible. If you want to contact me, the best way of contacting me for any information, or if you want me to do any particular videos or tutorials or TA on anything, is to go onto the Discord, which is down in the link at the bottom. Go onto the Discord, find it, and then subscribe to it, or install it. iOS, Android, Mac, and PC. So all the devices, they all support. You're welcome, Grace. Yeah, they all support they all support the Discord. So yeah, go on there. Then you can join up to my Discord, and then you can ask me questions by sending me either direct messaging or putting out there on there. Just before I do go, if I open up a new tab and bring up the Discord, then you'll get an idea for what goes on in there. So this is Rocky's channel, and this is my channel. So in here, it's quite basic. I've got general, so general people that want to talk. One in Bitcoin, so Bitcoin doomed. You know, when it came down the other day, it was a bit of maybe a clickbait, because I'm starting out now trying to get subscribers. But Bitcoin doomed, but it was a question mark. Is it doomed? Watch the video. Great video. And then that sort of gives us an indication that it's not doomed. Algorand TA, trading signals for Patreon. So when it comes to the point where I've got people that want to do that, then this is something that I'll be putting out there for people that want to pay. It's just, you know, for people that are high-end traders that want to do that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's what that's for. Video requests. So this Rook trade turned around and said, okay, so we were actually talking at the time. I said, do me a favor, put me a message in the video requests so I'll know to go through them. So one of them was explaining different time frames for beginners. So I did one. So if you look on my videos, you'll see time frames. And candlestick patterns I haven't done yet, so that's one that I'll be doing at some point. Dochen channel, or Donchen channel, which is Donchen channel is like the Bollinger Bands, if you've heard of those, but the two outside lines stick tighter to price action than the Bollinger Bands. You still have that medium line, that 20 SMA, which might not make sense to you right now, which is why you need to go and have a look on my channel, and you'll see 20 SMA and why it's important. And I give an example going back to 2017 all the way up to today, which is of how you can trade just the 20 SMA and how powerful just one what they call moving average is. So be sure to check out that video as well. VPVR, very powerful indicator, which we haven't looked at today. I've done a video on the VPVR and also the Ichimoku cloud. I did that in 15 minutes, I think, 15-20 minutes. So that's probably one of the best videos that you can watch with regards to trading. If you want a real solid indicator, check out that on my channel as well. And then Rocky's DMI. Now Rocky is this Rocky chap here, Rocky Outcrop. He made his own indicator, if you will. He got the DMI, and rearranged it in ways that he felt would be good. So there's changing colors when it gets into danger zones, and it goes green when it goes into a more happy zone. And yeah, so it's really, really cool. Can't join Discord, says it's expired. Oh, Grace, that's really important that you join the Discord. I don't know why. Thank you for letting me know. I'll have a look into that. I don't know why. Let me. Well, I'll tell you what I can do. I tell you what I can do. I'm going to go onto the Discord, and I'm going to go to. I want to go to my channel. Then I want to invite people, and I'm going to go to copy, and I'm going to go into here. Sign into the chat. Okay. Give me a sec. Just going to find it for you. Hang on a sec. Sign into the chat. I've got a light here. Hang on a sec. This action cannot be performed inside of Stream's OBS. To interact with the chat, you can open this chat, open in browser. So open in web browser, brings up the chat. Woohoo! There you are. Right. Paste. Boom. Send. There you go. So follow that now, and I will also just copy it into my disclaimer, which is here, and it's going to be the Discord. So if I go onto there and paste it, it is slightly different, isn't it? So I'm not sure why. All right, see what happens with that. Okay. Video requests. Hang on. Got it. Cool. Okay, video requests. Anyway, so yeah, so Rocky's DMI, that's what he did. He ended up, and there you go, Grace. If you want to have a look, you can see. Yeah, try that. Tell me if it's any better. And then once you're in Discord, you'll then be able to chat with Rocky and the rest of his crew. Yeah, that's that. Is there anything else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to go over. Maximize that. So yeah, support resistance, trend lines, DMI, Rocky. Yeah. So he did his own, because he did computer science at school, college, I think, and he's happy with JavaScript and all the rest of that sort of stuff. So I think he's sort of edited it and made it all of his own colors. In fact, I'll show you now. So if I go to indicators and go, I've got in my favorites all these ones that I use on a regular basis, and here's his DMI, directional movement indicator index. And yeah, so yeah, I'll be doing a video on how to trade this, yeah, it's just brilliant. It's a great indicator, and it works most of the time. It's fantastic. Just join, that helps. Thanks. Looking forward to it. Great. I'm pleased I managed to help. Even if it's just you, Grace, then that is fantastic, and I'm chuffed to bits that I've managed to help you. So that's great news. That's great news. Okay. We're all at different levels, and yeah, and we're all wanting to get onto the next level. So as someone once told me, when you climb a tree and you think you're doing well and you think you're getting to the top of the tree, you find that you're in a forest and there's more trees and they're even bigger. So to get over to the next tree, you can either like swing over and grab hold of your mate's hand and he'll help you up to the next tree, or you got to go all the way down, walk up to the next tree, and then climb it again. So yeah, it's all good stuff. All right, I am gonna go then. I suppose that's the end of it. So I'll say goodbye to everyone. Thank you for looking in, and I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna press this end button and just say it's been 1 hour and 10 minutes. Total noob. All right, that's good then. Well, this may be the channel for you, because I plan to help all the noobs and also do some stuff that is not so noob. So yeah, like tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the UK, I will be doing a live stream on Bitcoin versus the dollar, and also Algorand versus the dollar. And when I do that, I will be speaking in a different language, because that won't be too newbie. But this is